Welcome, welcome. The time has come to select one courageous young man and woman for the honor of representing District 12 in the 74th Annual Hunger Games. Our tributes, Peter Malark and Katniss Everdeen.
Why don't we start by talking a little bit about how you brought the cast together, because it's such an interesting array of actors.
Some were audition-based with the younger actors. Others were just people that I love and have worked with and want to work with badly, you know. In the case of Jen, I had seen her work in Winter's Bone and a few other things and was just knocked out.
I went and read with Gary and the casting director and the producers, and Gary and I kind of improv'd for like 10, 15 minutes. And I think the whole process lasted like a couple hours.
It's kind of cool when you were sort of first thought of in mind to play
the
role. It must have been very flattering.
I didn't know that until afterwards.
She came in and read for me, and then I was just completely convinced. She blew me away in the audition. Josh was similarly an audition process. He came in and sort of knocked me out in an audition.
I had 2 auditions. The first one I went in was with Gary Ross and Suzanne Collins, who's actually the author, and I didn't know she was going to be in the room. So walking in and seeing the author of the books there, you're like, oh, hi, I'm going to play the character you wrote. I hope you like it. So it was very good, actually. It went really well. And then I came back in a couple weeks later and had a chemistry with Jennifer, and that went extremely well as well.
I just keep on wishing to think of a way to show them that they don't own me.
How did your casting story go?
I was also a fan of the books, so I knew they were making them into a movie. And I knew that Effie was a great role.
And she was a huge fan of the books and wrote me a letter like, I play Effie Trinket. I was like, whoa, that's great, you know. So Liz actually had the idea to cast Liz. And I always listened to Liz, so that's what happened.
He called me to his office, and we looked at all of the references for the movie. We spent about an hour talking about the movie. And then he said, okay, great, so you're doing it. And I was like, oh, phew.
They sent me the script, the agency, and what I do with every script that I get, I write them back a note about my reaction to it. And my reaction to this script, I was blown away. So it was an extensive letter. And then I guess they showed that to Gary. He cast me, and I thought it was a wonderful piece of work to be a part of.
I was in the Bahamas recording Black and White America, which is my last album, and the phone rings in the studio, and it's Gary Ross. How you doing? Great. I'm doing this movie called Hunger Games. In my head, first of all, what's Hunger Games? Because I had no idea. And he said, well, it's this book, and we're making the film. I saw you in the movie Precious, and I think that you'd be right for this character. So I hadn't read the book, so I said, look, listen, I'll get the book and I'll call you back. And read the book that night. Called him back the next day and said, I'd love to do it. And that was it. Next time I saw Gary was on set.
I read with Gary Ross to begin with, and he was great. Got along with him really well, and they called me back about a week later to read with Jennifer. And and then it went really well.
Deb Zane, who's the casting director, showed Gary Ross some footage of me, and they were both very excited to have me come on or asked me to come on. I was very excited to be a part of it.
So in other words, it was the beard.
It was the beard. I had a beard in that tape. They were like, oh, that's the beard we're looking for.